Mr. Madigan,
Here.
Ms. Marlin,
Here.
Mr. Roberts, Mr. Smythe,
Here.
Mayor Pressing.
Here. Now, we did have a notice of a special meeting for property acquisition, but it seems that all those issues are actually in the regular agenda, so unless somebody objects, we'll just start the regular meeting. Is there any objection, any insistence on a special meeting?
No, I wondered why that was a closed meeting in the first place, so that's good.
Okay. All right, so first item is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, May 4th, 2015, and we also had a special meeting on May 4th. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Ammons,
Second.
seconded by Marlin. Any additions or corrections? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Are there any additions to the agenda? I don't see any. Petitions and communications, I don't have anything. Doesn't seem to be anybody in the audience that might want to address us. Any unfinished business? I don't think we're going to deal with tonight. So let's go right to reports of standing committees. The Committee of the Whole. Is that Diane?
Yes. On behalf of the Committee of the Whole, I move approval of ordinance number 2015-05-048, which is an ordinance amending Urbana City Code, Chapter 10, Section 10-50, Pollution Control Facilities Siting.
Second.
Okay, motion by Marlin, seconded by Madigan. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
That motion carries. Diane?
On behalf of the Committee of the Whole, I move approval of resolution number 2015-05-024R, resolution to authorize and ratify the execution of an amended intergovernmental agreement concerning the area-wide record management system between the City of Urbana, City of Champaign, Board of Trustees of the University of Illinois, Champaign County, including the Sheriff's Office, and the Village of Rantoul.
Second.
Motion by Marlin, seconded by Smythe. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
That motion carries.
On behalf of the Committee of the Whole, I move approval of resolution number 2015-05-025R, resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Habitat for Humanity of Champaign County.
Motion by Marlin, seconded by Smythe. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
That motion carries.
On behalf of the Committee of the Whole, I move approval of ordinance number 2015-05-051, an ordinance further amending ordinance number 8485-38 by extending the term of the Urbana Enterprise Zone an additional 6 months.
Second.
Motion by Marlin, seconded by Madigan. Any comments? Questions? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
That motion carries.
Mr. Madigan, you need to recuse.
Yes. So for agenda items E and F, state law precludes me from participating as a local liquor license holder, so I shall recuse myself.
And I move approval of ordinance number 2015-05-052, an ordinance amending Urbana City Code, Chapter 3, Section 3-43, increasing the number of Class G2 liquor licenses for Lacey's Place, LLC, doing business as Lacey's Place at 110 East University Avenue, Suite C.
Motion by Marlin, seconded by Smythe. Any discussion? Mr. Ammons.
This is just going along too fast for me, so I just thought I would ask, what would happen if we were all liquor license holders?
We would not be able to vote on liquor licenses.
That would be interesting.
So
Are you
actually,
planning on being a liquor license holder?
I don't know, maybe one day, I don't know.
Okay.
so I'll just This issue actually came up, because many of us were shareholders in the food co-op across the way. And so as soon as they got a liquor license, we were conflicted in voting on that. So a number of us relinquished our shares in the co-op so that we could have a quorum on the city council in order to vote on liquor licenses.
That's
But-
interesting.
But otherwise, no, we could not, we would have, the majority of the council could be in conflict, and then we couldn't do anything.
We didn't call the roll on this one yet, did we? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
That motion carries. Diane?
And last issue is ordinance number 2015-04-042, an ordinance amending Urbana City Code, Chapter 3, Section 3-43, increasing the number of Class G2 liquor licenses for Trident Partners, Urbana 5 Points Commercial Center, doing business as Ruby's 4, 510 North Cunningham, Suite 12.
Second?
Motion by Marlin, seconded by Smythe. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
That motion carries. Okay, reports of special committees. I don't see any. Reports of officers. Libby Tyler. Oh, do you want to say something, Bill? Sure. Okay, Bill Brown first.
I have a vacant property update on the 700 block of Florida Avenue. We have a new resident, Timothy Kylene, who started his first job, and started his first day on the job today. So I was able to meet him at the town hall meeting, and introduce myself as his ward representative. So, welcome to Timothy Kylene, and we're glad to have that vacant property occupied again.
We'll see if he contacts you for any special favors.
Are we up to date on inspecting that?
Okay, Libby Tyler will be able to answer that question.
You really faked me out. I'm ready to go check out what was happening there. I just want to remind the council members that we have our business and development lunch tomorrow at the Urbana Civic Center, and the topic for this luncheon will be the MCOR project. So if you missed the open house or you want to find out more, we'll have a nice presentation on that project tomorrow. Thank you.
What was the time again, Libby?
That is at noon
Okay.
to a little after 1 at the Urbana Civic Center. And it's a regular luncheon that we have with a lot of the business and development leaders in Urbana, and council members are always welcome.
Any other reports of officers? I would like to report on a trip with Champaign County First to Washington, D.C., and Brandon Boyce went on that trip also, and we were there to lobby for federal money for infrastructure. We talked about railroads, we talked about highways, high-speed rail, and also the navigation system at Willard Airport. And we met with a lot of very interesting people, the FAA, and there's no substitute for actually talking with people. So the U.S. Conference of Mayors also was meeting at the same time. They called it Infrastructure Week. And I was able to get Deb Finan, the new mayor of Champaign, to come with me, and we met with Congressman Schuster, Bud Schuster, who's really the leading person on infrastructure. And he was talking, he wouldn't do an interview with 60 Minutes, they said that last night, but he talked to us, so that was nice. He talked to a bunch of mayors. And he was talking about trying to get votes in the Congress, and I asked him how the Illinois delegation was, and he didn't have any problems with the Illinois delegation. I think everybody who represents this state understands the need for good highways, good airports, and good rail systems. And tomorrow, I got invited by Senator Scott Bennett to testify to the Senate Higher Education Committee about Amtrak. And the reason they're talking about that is that our system, the 2 state-run trains, serve 3 colleges, the University of Illinois, Eastern Illinois University and Southern Illinois University. So I'm going to be there to urge them to not go back to the 18th century before railroads. Any other messages you want to send? Yes, Eric?
Yeah, so in the interest of inclusiveness, although it's not an Illinois institution, the other group of students who use Amtrak extensively are from Jackson State. Many of them are from Chicago. And if you ride the city of New Orleans, when it's break time, you're just going to be surrounded by students from Jackson State, which is actually a really cool experience.
Okay, that is a good point. We were talking about the state-funded trains, but we do have a long train which I've taken, and it's a great train, very famous. Okay, we'll move on to new business. We have ordinance number 2015-05-053, an ordinance approving the contract for sale of real estate with the Illini Home Buyers LLC. Hi.
Good evening. Yeah, I'll try to make this as short and sweet like everything else has been tonight. Anyway, this property came up for sale. It was bought by a property investment company. We noticed it for sale, and it is right next to an adjacent property we had donated to Habitat back in 2009. Both these properties, or this one is a half lot, 33 by 132. So the purchase of this one would allow us to demolish, again, donate it to Habitat, and we would have one full-size lot for them to construct a new home on. Trying to construct on just a half lot. It's worked in the past in some locations. This one, there just isn't enough room there for them to do that. So with the property being up for sale and the price that they're asking for it, it's assessed at 25, and we negotiated a price of $14,000 for the purchase.
Wow.
The demo, again, will probably run us between $8,000 and $10,000 by the time it's all said and done. But again, we would have a new 3 or 4 bedroom from Habitat on the property if all said and done, and works out well.
Okay, any questions for Randy Burgett? Aaron?
Diane was first.
Diane was first.
Just wondered what the source of the funds is to purchase.
Source of these funds are the Community Development Block Grant funds that have already been approved by City Council through our annual action plan. Currently, we have right around $62,000 in that budget, which for this fiscal year, which ends June 30. So we're good right now.
Okay, and Aaron?
So when we purchase lots like that, is Habitat the only entity that we make these, that we give these lots to? Are there other entities that can purchase lots for $1 or something like that?
As far as purchasing for $1, we do have another CHOTO, which is Homestead Corporation, which also does that. In the past, Ecolab Corporation has also. The difference being those two versus what Habitat can construct and sell a home to a person 80% or below median income. So far, that's Habitat's. It'd be nice to have 2 or 3 more CHOTOs. We could get a lot more accomplished.
So in order for us to give property to someone, there's something that they have to contribute to the city of Urbana in some form or fashion.
Yeah, like well, just like Habitat and our community housing development partners, they're all nonprofits, and they've got their 501c3, and that's what they do is construct for low-income, moderate families. It's not like we can buy these properties and tear them down and donate it or give it to a single individual to build a new home on. That's not through the Community Development Block Grant funds.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to help answer that
Okay.
question. I think that CHOTO is a 501c3 type organization that can be used for the federal money to pass through to purchase and develop these properties. So so in some ways our hands are a bit tied
Yeah.
on who we can use. They have to be an approved organization through this federal process.
And you said CHOTO? How do you?
CHOTO, CHDO, Community Housing Development.
Oh, it's okay. It's an acronym. I'm like,
I'm
okay.
sorry, I'm using an acronym.
I'm getting there. I'm getting
There's a
there.
lot of those in these.
Right. Okay.
Federal, it's got acronyms.
Okay. My last question was in relationship to when we demolish. Is that something that we do, or do we hire contractors to demolish?
So far, that has always been put out for bid. We've talked about it internally about what we can do.
This one will be put out for bid?
Yes.
Thank you.
Charlie?
I'll move approval of ordinance 2015-553, an ordinance approving the contract for sale of real estate with the Illini Home Buyers LLC.
Second.
Motion by Smythe, seconded by Jacobson. Any other discussion? Yes, Mr. Madigan.
So I just have a minor comment. This is one of those things, I have no problem with it, but I think questions arise because in the staff memo, there's really not a whole lot of detail about the fiscal impact. I mean, there's a little bit about, well, there's the information about the purchase price. And I know maybe there's a reason for not stating what the estimated demo price would be for bidding purposes. I don't know, but to me, it would just be more helpful to include in the fiscal impact, not that this is just already covered by the budget, but that here's what the actual cost will be incurred, you know, to finalize a project. So, I mean, just a minor thing. I really don't have any issue here, but the 8 to 10,000, I think that ought to just be, frankly, just stated right out in the impact, in the analysis. I just think that would preclude questions or discussion when it gets to this point.
Anyone else? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ammons?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Jacobson?
Yes.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Ms. Marlin?
Yes.
Mr. Smythe?
Yes.
I don't vote on that one. Madam Clerk?
Mayor Pressing?
Yes. Okay, that motion carries, and I do have a proclamation, which I think that Bill Gray was going to remind me of. Sorry, I should have read this earlier. Whereas public works services provided in our community are the most positive services provided by government, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water, sewers, streets and highways, public buildings, sustainable practices, and solid waste collection, and whereas these facilities and services help people strive for and live their lives to the fullest, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these facilities as well as their planning, design, and construction are vitally dependent upon the efforts and skills of public works professionals, and whereas the community recognizes the dedication and skill of all public works employees who play an essential role in preserving the health, safety, and comfort of those in the city of Urbana, now therefore I, Laurel Lunt Pressing, Mayor of the City of Urbana, do hereby proclaim May 17th through 23rd, 2015 as National Public Works Week in the City of Urbana, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life, not only this week, but throughout the year. We have a great public works department. Let's give them a hand. Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I hate to be the stick in the spokes,
Yes.
but I'm gonna be.
What?
I would agree that public works is very important, but I'm not so sure we should pass a resolution that that puts public works above public safety. It's a bit of a concern. I think we have a fine police department, a fine fire department, so maybe there ought to be a bit of finessing there.
Every week is Police and Fire Week.
But I guess my
But
point
this is a proclamation.
Okay,
know.
fine.
It's a national. It's a
I'm not trying to
national thing.
belabor it, but
Yeah,
to point out one division as the most important.
I don't think it says it's the most important. It says it's very important.
Well-
But anyway,
Really?
yes. Go ahead.
Okay, maybe I misheard.
What
Eric.
it says is it's the one that has the most positive impact. In other words, there's no mixed, there's nothing mixed. Public safety is very important. It has a big net positive impact, but it does, sometimes impinge, it sometimes there's conflict. Fire department, very important, big net positive impact, but again, it's associated with loss. So I think that's how I interpreted the wording. Now, I just heard it tonight for the first time, but that was my interpretation of it and why I didn't object to it. I certainly agree with Mr. Madigan that that police and fire are equally important, equally vital, and that we are, in fact, blessed with really excellent departments in that area.
I talk about public safety, and I include police, fire, and public works, because you can't get to a fire or to a crime scene without the roads being cleared. So they all work together. So we're not trying to put one over the other. We're just trying to say we have a good department.
All right, very good. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Okay, thank you. Diane?
We're on the same page, but I did want to acknowledge this wonderful newsletter that was included in our packet, and I hope this is online because it was packed full of useful information, and it was a Public Works newsletter. So I assume people can access it on the internet.
Okay, anyone else? Well, we didn't set a record, but we don't have any more work to do that we're going to act on tonight, at least. So there being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.